Hey all, I wanted to make a video just showing you the equipment that I use to stream and record. I've been using this equipment for a while now and none of it's really high end, some of it's also second hand. I wanted to make this just to show you that if you are interested in getting into streaming, or if you'd just like to record audio and video, that you don't need to spend a fortune to get something that looks and sounds decent. Before we start, I just want to let you know that this is not going to be a step-by-step guide on how to set yourself up for streaming and recording. I'm just going to be covering the equipment that I'm using and how I've set it up for myself. I'm also making a couple of assumptions. Number one would be that you have a PC, and number two is that you're slightly familiar with audio and video recording through a computer. Let's talk what I use for video. I'm currently using a 4K video camera by Panasonic. This particular model was released in Australia around April of 2017, and when it was released, it was a top of the line in Panasonic video cameras. It retailed for about 1,400 Australian dollars, but I picked it up about a year ago in a second-hand store for 150 Australian dollars. And I'm really happy with the video quality that it gives me. If you are going to use a video camera or a digital SLR to capture your video for streaming and recording, to get it into your computer, you need to use a thing called a capture card. I'll be going through mine in a second. One of the other most important things about a video camera or a digital SLR is its ability to output what's called a clean feed. Now, what does a clean feed mean? A clean feed means that the camera needs to be able to output a feed without icons on it. In other words, no battery marker, no ISO or aperture marker, no record timing left and things like that. As you can see, my screen is completely clean. One of the benefits of using a video camera as opposed to a webcam is that my particular model has a flip out LCD screen. This allows me to see what the camera is going to see before I start to broadcast or record. It's very good for making sure that you're going to be in focus, that you remain in focus, and that you can also see what's going on in the background while you're recording or streaming. The only problem with a video camera in a setup like this is that it does need to have access to mains power to keep the battery charged, otherwise it won't last very long. As I said before, if you want to use a video camera to capture your video while you're streaming or recording, you're going to need to use a thing called a capture card. Now, what's a capture card? It's a device that allows you to capture the video from your video camera through a HDMI cable into your computer via a USB connection. The capture card I'm currently using is the AVerMedia GL310 Lite. Why am I using this particular capture card? It's purely motivated by price. At the time, it was the cheapest capture card I could find on the market from a decent brand. It's no longer listed on their website, but it is available for sale in Australia from places like Umart and M-Wave for about 149 Australian dollars. Just be aware that the only reason you need to use a capture card is if you want to use a digital SLR or a video camera for capturing your video while you're streaming or recording. Or if you're interested in streaming games from Xbox or PlayStation. As software like OBS will do this natively from inside your PC without a need for anything external if you're using a web camera. The only issue with using a budget capture card like the one I'm currently using is its maximum resolution. The AVerMedia GL310's max resolution is 1080p at 60 frames. So even though I'm using a 4K video camera, you're only ever going to see it at 1080p. If you were interested in recording something in 4K, you would need to spend a little bit more money. Audio. In my opinion, it's very important that you have a good quality audio track on your stream or recording. My setup is probably a little bit more complex than you may need, but it is still definitely at the budget end. As you can see, I'm using a condenser microphone. What you can't see is that I'm also using an audio interface. The reason that I'm using an audio interface is to allow me to use a condenser microphone and to provide power for that microphone, and also give me the ability to record my bass guitar onto my computer. When I first looked into how you go about recording your guitar and your vocals onto your computer, and realizing that I would need an interface and a microphone, I bought my first microphone off Amazon. It was a Neewer NW700 package. Now it came with the microphone itself, a boom arm, a pop filter, and an XLR to 3.5mm cable. that cable isn't actually suitable for anything, so you need to be aware of that if you do buy this package. It was around about 42 Australian dollars off Amazon. This is the actual microphone that came with the package. It's the Neewer NW700. Now there's absolutely nothing wrong with this microphone. I just found that with my vocal style, it did make me sound a tiny little bit tinny. So I have upgraded my microphone. I'll go through that in a second. You can see it does need an XLR cable. I'm still currently using the boom arm that came with the package, the original Amazon package, and it's working perfectly fine. I have upgraded, as I said, my mic and my pop filter to something slightly better quality though. The current microphone that I'm using is the Audio-Technica AT2020. I bought this from a local music store for about 120 Australian dollars, and I really love the way it sounds with my voice. The audio interface that I'm using is a Behringer Euphoria UMC 204 HD. It's a 2-in, 4-out interface. All that means is it can have 2 inputs and 4 outputs. So I input into it my guitar signal and the vocal signal from my microphone. This allows me to record that as 2 separate tracks in digital audio workstation software on my computer. This is a video from my phone of my Behringer audio interface as I'm making this recording. You can see the 2 inputs in the front. On the left is my bass guitar and on the right is my microphone. You can see next to that the 2 channel strips, first one being the controls for my guitar, the second one being the controls for my microphone. You'll notice the little green LED is lighting up as I speak. That is just the interface letting you know that it's receiving a signal from the microphone. Above that is a red clip light. This will illuminate if my signal becomes distorted. On the right hand side near the volume control, you can see the orange power indicator, and below that is the 48 volt phantom power light. That's just letting you know that 48 volt phantom power is turned on. Now 48 volt phantom power is what is required to run a condenser microphone like this that I'm using through your interface. The majority of interfaces have 48 volt phantom power, but just make sure that you check, otherwise you will not be able to use a condenser microphone. The Behringer audio interface cost me about 180 Australian dollars online from Store DJ, and I ordered it through their website. I'm really happy with the quality for the price. It's got all the inputs and outputs that I'm ever going to need, and the sound quality I find is excellent. So what am I using to listen to all of this? Well, as you can see, I wear a headset. These are PreSonus HD9 studio monitors. What's a studio monitoring headphone? Well, they're basically a headphone that doesn't add any enhancements to the sound as it comes out the earpieces. You're getting your input native as the mix intended. I find them really comfortable and can wear them all day long. I find them great for gaming, but excellent for listening to music. These cost me about $120 from a local music store, and once again, I'm really happy with the quality for the price. Well, I hope you found this video interesting. And I hope that it showed you that you don't really need to spend a lot of money to get yourself a decent quality audio and video streaming and recording setup. As I said in the beginning, I've been using this equipment for a while now, and there isn't really anything that I'd change. I'm very happy with its performance, both in recording and streaming. And it works really well in the available space that I have to set it up. I did build a custom desk to fit everything on here, and I might do another video on that in the future. But you just need to be aware of how much space you're actually going to use when you set this equipment up. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. If you did find it interesting, please consider liking and subscribing, and wherever you are, I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, as always, duty first.